So find yourself a good spot on your mat. Nice deep breath in and out. Ready to start. Okay, with your toes pointing forwards, feet hip width apart, so feet directly underneath your hip joints. Think about your toes pointing forwards. Lift and separate your toes. Push down through your big toes gently, lifting up your arches. Imagining that muscle up through the inside of that lower leg, picking up and lifting the arch. It isn't something that you can feel dramatically, so don't worry too much. It's more imagine it, think about it. Soften your knees just slightly. Tuck your bottom under and then stick your bottom out. So tucking under and sticking your bottom out. So these are your pelvic tilts. Try and use your glutes to scoop and tuck under, and then your back muscles to arch your back. Glutes and abs to scoop and tuck under, and then the back muscles to stick your bottom out. And think about your pelvis as like a bucket of water, and you're tipping water out of the front, and then you're tipping water out of the back. It's like a sort of rocking motion with the pelvis there. Some of you will find that more difficult than others. Some of you will find that you're stiffer through the pelvis and tighter than others. It's pelvis and lower back really, to be honest. Good. Settle somewhere in between. So you're not all the way this way and you're not all the way tucked under. You're somewhere in between. Roll and drop the shoulders. Keep the chest open, broadening and opening out through the front of the chest. Drop the shoulders as well. Think about tucking your shoulder blades down into your back pockets at the back. Tuck your chin and lengthen up through the back of the neck. And then take the weight from leg to leg, squeezing one side and squeeze the other side. Keeping strong in here. Good. And just rocking, squeezing one glute and then the other. Good. Brilliant. Lovely. Bring your feet just a tiny little bit in and then lift one heel and swap and change. Good. Stretching through the feet. Trying to get the ankles to go straight forwards and the knee to go straight forwards. Squeeze your bum on one side and then squeeze on the other side. So thinking about all the things you've got to do to actively perform this exercise, I should say. Good. Dropping the shoulders, tucking the chin, lengthening up through the back of the head. Good work. All right, with your palms facing up, dropping the shoulders, stretch forwards, wide, front and back in. And go again. Forwards, open, front and in. Lovely. Open, front and in. Breathe as you go. Lovely. Forwards, wide, front, back. Tucking the chin, lengthening out through the back of the neck, drawing in the tummy, knees a little bit soft as well. Good, a couple more. Yes, no, Lily, go. Okay, right arm, stretch straight up. Left down and bend your knees. Really stretch up with one, stretch down with the other. Round, 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 round. Hands together. To the front. And curl back up. And then the other hand up and the other hand down. Stretching one down, one up. Round in a circle. Hands together. To the front and curl back up, roll and down, and then we're going to do the same thing each side again. Right arm up, left arm down, bend your knees, really feel this one stretch up and the other one stretch down. Good, round in a circle, hands together, to the front, and curl back up, and then we've got one more on the other side. Up and down, bend your knees. Good stuff. Round, round, round in a circle. Good. To the front. And then coming back up and roll those shoulders a couple of times. Now then, just like we've done before, let's grab the mat and fold so you've got a nice level bit there, so we can do those squats again that we've done before. So find your roll up, just so that your heels are a little bit higher than your toes. Hands on your hips there, and tuck your chin, and then sitting back into the squat, squeeze your glutes and squeeze your thighs and tummy in to come back up. Hips back, draw the tummy in and come back up and drop your shoulders. Leave that, Lily, put it down.
Who did you buy it for?
They're Harry's, he bought them. Put it down. Sit back and squeeze and come back up. Sit back into the heels, draw in your tummy, squeeze your thighs and up tall. Good. Sitting back into the heels. So remembering that this layer underneath your heels will just free up those squats a little bit. So if you want to just check how they make a difference, do one or two without your heels on it, and then put your heels back on it and feel the difference. Sitting back into it and come up tall, squeezing in your tummy, sit back and come up tall, and then just a couple more, sit back, whoop, not too far, come up tall, and then the last one, sit back and come up tall. And then, because we've got that nicely rolled up, let's turn around and put our toes onto it. If you put your fingertips on something next to you, draw in your tummy, pulling up onto your toes and come back down. So it's just like you're doing from the bottom step, perhaps, to do those calf raises. Pulling up and back down. So the lowering is important. Lower, 1, 2, 3. Pull up onto the toes. And lower, 1, 2, 3. Draw in the tummy, pulling up. Think about squeezing and tightening and pulling up through the calf. Squeeze, pull, draw up through that calf and lower back down. Good. Lovely. Couple more. Drop the shoulders. Last one. Good. Give those legs a little wiggle, and then we'll see if we can do some single leg ones. I think just 5 on each leg. So pick up the left leg there and pull up on the right leg. 1. Good. Squeeze your bum on that standing leg. 2. And pull up through the calf. 3. 4. Last one. 5. Nice. Swap legs, other foot on there. Pick up. Duck under, squeeze your bum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Lovely calf work there. So roll your mat back out again. Calves tend to get forgotten, to be honest. It's not an area that we work enormously, but it's so, so important. As I've mentioned, you're probably getting tired of me saying, good for all of those people who tend to get ankle injuries, foot injuries, foot tightness, that kind of thing. If you get your calves working properly, then much better. Anyway, step your legs out. Toes pointing out, knees pointing out. You get your knees to point out by rotating at the hips. So squeeze your bum and rotate your knees out to the side. And then just some nice open squats like that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Arms straight up. When the arms come up, it's really important not to flare the ribs out and to arch the back. So try and stop yourself arching the back. Keep your ribs down and arms up. So we're going to squat down, same as we just have. Lower your hands to the floor and then come back up tall, lifting your arms up. 2, 3, let's try and do 10 of these. 4, don't banana the body on the way up. 5, Keep your bum tucked under. Two more. 10. Good. While we're in this position, put your hands back down on your hips, bend your knees there. Let's lift one heel at a time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop the shoulders up tall. 9, 10. Let's glide to one side and straighten that knee. Back to the middle. Glide to the other side, straighten the other knee. Tighten through this leg as you stretch it out. 4, 5, good stuff. 6, 7, 9, 10. Lovely. Come back up. So those legs may, hopefully, feel like they've been worked a little bit. So standing on the end of your mat, nice and tall, tuck through your shin and curl, curl, curl your way down. All the way to the bottom. Don't worry about where those fingertips are. They could be mid-shin to the floor. We're all different. Breathe in. Breathe out and ease your way down. Good, good. Breathe in. Breathe out and ease down. Bend and straighten each knee. Good. Pushing one knee back at a time, tensing through the thigh. Good. Hook your hands together and bring them over the back there just to get a bit of a stretch through the shoulders. Good. And come back down. Good. Walk your fingertips out forwards whilst keeping your heels back. I mean, this isn't going to be appropriate if you're up here, of course, because you can't walk your fingertips forwards. So we'll only do one of those, only for the people who've got the fingertips on the floor. And then coming back. There. Let your head go heavy, let your arms go heavy. Just a moment really to feel that stretch just a little bit longer. Good stuff. And then coming down onto the hands and knees. Lovely. So our hands are underneath the shoulders, ideally, even though I'm happy for you to be a little bit further out if your wrists get sore. And your knees should be underneath your hips. Now that one isn't the one to compromise with. Definitely the knees should be underneath the hips. And then if we can just rock forwards and backwards in that position. So you should actually feel that you need to use your tummy just that little bit more. Good. Lovely, so it's just a sort of pulse really, forwards and backwards, and feeling which parts of you need to strengthen and use and stabilise with. Drawing in your tummy there. I think I've probably said before, those people that we can't get to really activate their deep abdominals on hands and knees is one position that we get them to do it. And it's a matter of drawing and lifting up through your tummy, pulling your belly button towards your spine a little bit there. Good. So with the arms, we're going to stretch right out with the right, lift, down and in. Transfer the weight onto your left, left out, up, down and in. And go again with the right, up, down, in. Good, left. Brilliant, keeping that chin tucked and keep your tummy strong. One more each side. Last one. Brilliant. So legs, right leg out, lift. Now this is so important. I'm correcting people all the time with this in classes. Tuck your bottom under, don't lift the leg too high. As soon as you lift the leg high, the back arches. Good. Down and in. So keep your bum squeezed, keep your tummy switched on at the front. Good. Keep your arms strong and your shoulders strong. And then let's do arms and legs at the same time. Right arm, left leg. Stretch out, lift, down, in. Other side. Keep going, tummy really strong. Tummy strong. One more each side. 10. Lovely. Okay, turning over. Sitting to start with. Now I don't use this exercise very much. I said that last time. I stuck it into the class. We're going to be upright. Look, if you've got one knee bent and you're going to hook your hands around that knee and hold on to it really strong. I want you to pull yourself up tall and drop the shoulders and tuck the chin so you're in that lovely position. Pull your toes up and tighten your thigh, and I just want you to lift them down with that leg. It's really difficult. 2. Let's try and do 10 on each leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now a few of you might be struggling because of length of hamstrings at the back, of course, there. And I wouldn't mind if you leant back just a little bit on these ones to just relieve that tension through the hamstrings. Okay, so up tall. Gets me out of breath, this one. Up tall. Hold on around the other knee. Pull the toes up, tense the thigh, and off we go. 1. Oh, I'm strong on that side. 2. 3, 4, 5, 2 more. Lovely. Hate those. Okay, really good view there. Up tall, and I want you to tuck your bottom under, make your back as curvy as you can. And then we're going to roll back as that, rolling like a ball, we call it, all the way to the head. And then come back up tall, whoops, and try not to tap those toes down on the floor. Curl back, control it, and come up tall. Good. Breathe. Not very good in these shorts today. That's when you need to wear your proper workout gear. Good. That's number 4. Keep those toes from touching the floor. 5. 6. Good. Up tall each time. 7. 8. Keep the tummy scooped in. 9. Last one. 10. Okay, bring your feet down onto the floor. Lovely. All right, so we're going to lie down onto our backs. Good, good. I'm going to say it as always. Basically, these ones that I start with each week here, where we're just drawing in those deep abdominals, the muscles that hug the spine, the muscles that pull the tummy in, they're so important, even though you hardly feel anything happening at all. And trust me, if it's the day that you're just learning to do them, or if it's like me, doing them probably every day for a good number of years now, you don't feel much at all, but you just have to really trust. Trust in Joseph Pilates, wherever he may be, that it makes such a difference. And I tell you what, if I do less Pilates, my tummy comes out. After having had 3 children, that is what happens. The more Pilates I do, the more it flattens, and it's these exercises are the ones that do it, not the hard, big other exercises like that. That can actually push your tummy outwards. So trust me, it's these smaller ones that are so important. So concentrate, tuck through the chin, open out through the chest, pull the shoulder blades down at the back, take a breath in, breathe out, and sink your ribs down towards the floor. Find that little arch in the lower back, feet hip width apart. Tighten through your pelvic floor. So this is the trick, the tightening through the pelvic floor. It has the same nerve supply as the deep abdominals. Those deep abdominals being muscles that you don't even know are working, you don't recognize them, you don't feel them. So you just have to trust that the pelvic floor is linked. You tighten through the pelvic floor, that squeezes that corset for you. And then you lift and lower one leg at a time. So really important to get that little bit right. The little arch in the back, or the neutral pelvis, so it means your back isn't flat or really arched, it's somewhere in between. That makes it much easier to do. Lots of studies have shown that these muscles do not work when your back is too arched or when your back is too flat. Hence, posture is important too. So you should be thinking a little about pulling your belly button towards the spine, but mostly thinking about lifting through the pelvic floor. For the women, obviously, that's that little bit easier. We tend to think about that a little bit more. So think about just tightening, like the sitting bones, a sling across, tightening up, or stopping yourself wee, basically. For the men, apparently walking into some cold water is the thing to think about. Think about lifting. But not too strongly. The minute you over squeeze through all of that, you will overwork the outer muscles, and the problem with overworking the outer muscles is the inner, deeper ones don't bother then. Lovely, so we need to do all sorts of movements on this level 1. Both legs down, lowering one knee sideways and come back up. We're trying not to rock the hips from side to side, basically. Keeping the hips level, keeping the front of the hips pointing straight up. Good. Tucking the chin, lengthening the back of the neck, opening the chest. Make all of these corrections and adjustments and feel, is it easier to do what I'm trying to do, or is it harder, or does that make me feel like I can engage things better? Good. The last of this little series is pushing one leg out and coming back in. Good. Sliding out, pulling the toes up and come back in. Good. And the breathing should be relaxed. That's one element of this Pilates that I choose not to talk about too much. I think it confuses people to breathe at the same time when they're trying to concentrate on everything else, but as long as your breath is relaxed. I've got my hands on my ribs here because ideally you want to be breathing out into the lower outer ribs. I don't want anyone to get too stressed about that at the moment. Good. Okay, so there's your level 1. This next level just as important. Get everything sorted as you were, little arch in the back. Tighten through the pelvic floor, lift your right leg up, and this is where to have one hand across your tummy. Draw in, don't let it push out as you do that. Down, down. So it's the second count. 1, draw in your tummy. 2, down, down. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's on number 2 that you really want to draw in the tummy, not let it bulge outwards. Experiment with how arched that lower back needs to be, and if you feel more comfortable with it a little bit flatter, or you feel more comfortable with it a little bit more arched. I can't say where your exact neutral pelvis is, and I don't want to. I want you to figure it out for yourselves. Good. Swap legs, other leg first. Draw in your tummy. Breathe. If ever you feel yourself getting too tense, just take a nice breath in and out, drawing in that lower tummy. Good. Couple more. Lovely. Just let everything relax for a second, because it is possible to tense up around everywhere on those kind of exercises where you're concentrating a lot, and then you can reset. Tuck the chin, open the chest, ribs down, little arch in the back, tighten through the pelvic floor, right leg up, stretch away, back in and down. And that's not the only cue for working the deep abdominals. Belly button to spine can work. Thinking about tightening a low belt can work as well. There are lots of cues. I've always found the pelvic floor one works well for me, so it's the one that I tend to teach the most. Good. Make sure you tighten the thigh fully. And when you stretch this leg out, stretch it out so it's level with the other one. If you don't know where that is, look up and check. Good. One more each side. Good work. Knees and toes pinned together, so it's hard to see on the 2D me, but hopefully you can see my knees and toes are pinned together. Keep your hands there with your hands on the top of your ribs. Take the legs over to the side, picking up the hip, keeping the knees level, so you should be able to see my knees are together and level. They're not doing this, so this is what I don't want you to do. If you break your legs apart, that happens, or if you let this one drop backwards, that happens. I want you to push and keep those knees together. Pick up the hip and the foot, rotate. Pull the hip down to the floor, both feet flat. Picking up, rotating over. Good. Other side. So those ribs should be staying put. We should be just rotating through the spine. Good, the shoulders are still pointing forwards. And as always in Pilates, you're trying to keep one bit still while another bit moves. Good, one more each side. Lovely, good stuff. So feet again, hip width apart a little bit there. And we're going to bring the legs up to tabletop. This is where it gets quite hard. Draw in the tummy, stretch one leg out, tense the thigh, come back in. Keeping that little arch in the back and keeping your lower tummy switched on, stretch away, back in. You have to bring in the outer muscles for these ones. But the trick is to have the deep ones working and the outer ones layered up and working as well, keeping the ribs down, chin tucked. Click, click. So it's quite normal for things to click like that, especially if you're me. Good, trying to keep that tummy as flat as possible, drawing in. Great. One more each side. Lovely. And come back down. Good work. Okay, so we need to go back to our level here. These are all going to get suddenly very difficult, but it's not going to last long. So if you've reached your limit there, you either want to skip on to a little bit later when we're lying on our sides, or just do a few stretches in the meantime. Good. So legs up, tummy in. We're going to crunch at the same time. Hold on behind your right leg. Stretch up with the right and out with the left. Come back in, drawing in that tummy. But guys, if you take your time on these, you should be okay. Good. Obviously don't push yourself further than you want to. Drawing in tummy. You can always repeat some of the other exercises that we've done so far as well. Good, try and keep that breathing going. It's very difficult when you're doing all of these extra movements and you're actually sort of squashing the lungs a little bit, but it is a bit of a skill to still be able to breathe on these ones. Good, one more each leg. Brilliant, come back down. Good. So the legs are coming back up again. Right leg to tabletop, left to join it, draw in your tummy. Good, and then take one leg out to the side and come back in, and then the other leg to the side and come back in. Open the chest, tuck your chin, squeeze in your tummy. Good, and don't let the hips rock from side to side. Don't worry about how far out that leg is going. Just as far as you can before everything starts to shift and rotate. I want to keep everything pointing up towards the ceiling other than the knee and the foot. Breathing, nice and relaxed. One more each side. Lovely, bring your knees into your chest. Good work, maybe wiggle your feet a little bit there. All right, and come back down with the legs. Just reposition yourself. And then we have the next exercise, drawing the legs up, squeezing in your tummy, crunch head and shoulders off. We're not holding on behind the leg, we're stretching along this leg. So this leg, one across there and stretch out the other leg. So I'll let you get into that position and then swap and swap and swap, watching your toes, drawing in your tummy. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathing nice and relaxed. Good. Three, two, one. Lovely. And back down. Good stuff. So all that work, sort of, you probably feel it in your thighs, your hip flexors, and sort of generally around. So I do like to bring in a few crunches to really sort of target those abdominals as much as you can. Those ones that we've just done are hard work, but you don't necessarily get that sort of abdominal kind of burn, if you like. So hands behind your head, elbows nice and wide. Let's do 10 crunches with a couple of counts on the way up. So up, crunch a bit more, and down. So it's sort of tighten through the pelvic floor, and it's 2 counts. 1, 2, good. That's number 3. 4, good. So you can see crunch and then crunch a little bit more. One more. With the right leg up now. Off we go. Crunch, crunch, and down. 2. 5, good stuff. 6, 7. 10. Other leg up. Should be getting tired now, I'd imagine. 1. How we doing? Good. 4, 5, nearly there. 5 more. They are tiring and a bit long. Last one. Brilliant. Oops. Come back down. Give your legs a little shake. All right. And then can we possibly go straight into some hundreds? I think so. Tuck your chin, shoulders off, draw in that tummy, arms down by your sides, pulsing up and down, squeezing in the tummy still. Don't do that, got a bit of an itch. Push your fingertips down towards your toes, chin tucked, tummy in. Good, little arch in the back still. Always remember that. Right hand behind the head, left up and down. Keep the elbows wide always. And swap sides. It's a good combination doing those two together. Hadn't realised. Lovely. Come back down. So what's always nice after doing those kind of exercises to stretch out just a little bit but not open up too much at the front is your shoulder bridges. So heels nice and close to your bottom, but don't force it too far. Arms down by your sides, tuck your bottom under, push your knees away. Good, and curl, curl, curl back down. Good. And again, tuck under, curling up, pushing your knees away. And curl back down. Good. And again, 3. 4. Good, and again, 5, pushing your knees away. 6. We're going to do 10 of these. I don't normally do quite so many all in one go, but really thinking about tucking under, peeling up, curling up one vertebra at a time, up to the top, and then the ribs go down first to curl your way back down. 3 more, tucking under, pushing the knees away, curling up, squeezing your glutes, and then ribs down first, curl, curl, curl back down, and then into that little arched position. And then you flatten again, push your knees away, curling back up. Good. Ribs down, curl back down. And I think 1 more. Tucking under, curling up, push the knees away, and then curl back down. Nice one. All right, continuing on that theme of glutes, turn onto your sides. We're going to go completely flat today with that arm stretched out, and your bicep is your pillow for your head. Shimmy that top shoulder, ribs and hip backwards, so your whole body wants to roll forwards a little bit there. Have your hand on the floor in front of you and push that top knee away from you as well. So you want to, I always feel, this is a bit like the recovery position there. Tucking the bottom under, curl and tuck the tailbone under, using your abs a little bit to tuck the tailbone under, and then lifting that top knee. Good. Keeping your feet together and fairly relaxed. You might have to do some adjustments there, just to get yourself in a comfortable position. And this hand should just be softly on the floor. I remember somebody teaching me that it should be almost like it's pressed on at the top of a piece of warm bread. So your hand doesn't sink into the bread. That means if you're pushing there, you're trying to sort of help out what's going on here. So this hand should be nice and relaxed. Brilliant. Feet up to hip height there, so you're rolling forwards onto the front of the thigh. And then lift again. You should feel that you've got to just work a little bit harder around your abs and everywhere really, just to keep that strong. Good. And by being here with this bottom arm out straight, it means we can't fix with that arm as well. So in some ways that makes it harder. Good. Bottom leg down, top leg straight, and I just want it straight forwards and back like that. 2, nice and slow. Squeezing your bum to take the leg back. 3. 6. 7. Brilliant. Come back down. And then on to the other side. All right. Good work. So this arm out. Try not to fall asleep. Tuck the ribs back, tuck the hip back. It's that time of day, isn't it? That sleepy kind of time of day. Ribs back, hips back, bottom tucked under, and then lifting the top knee. And on that note, I just thought I'd mention, I'm trying my hardest to drink the daily, recommended daily amount of water a day. Oh, it is hard, 11.5 cups of water, or glasses of water, 2.7 litres. And I tell you what, I don't think I've been so tired in the afternoons. I think it's given me good energy all round. I'm not counting any cups of tea or coffee. Or anything else, only alcohol of course. Feet up, and I tick it off on the fridge. So I'm sure there's an app you can get on your phone. But I'm choosing whiteboard on the thing on the fridge. Whiteboard marker. I colour in little cups of water. I've drawn 11 of them and I colour them in. Nothing like a bit of visual encouragement, I think. Okay, stretch out that top leg. We kept the bottom one bent, didn't we, on the other side? So stretch out the top leg, keep strong in here, and nice and slow, forwards and backwards. 1. Think about squeezing the bum on the way back. 2. 3. 4. 7. 8. 2 more. 9. 10. Lovely. While we're in this position, let's do some stretches on the sides. I want you to make that into a pillow, that bottom arm into a pillow. The other arm's forwards. Breathe in, breathe out as the arm comes over. Bend the elbow if you need to. Keep it straight if you can. Good. In and out. 2. Sun's just come out. 3. Keep those knees together and hips stacked. 4. Last one. 5. Fabulous. Good stuff. Other side. Good. Knees and toes together onto your side. Make a pillow for your head. Tuck your hips back, tuck your ribs back. So we're assuming that same position as doing the clam. Arms in front, breathing in, breathing out. No room here at all. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Breathe in, keep that arm long. Breathe out. Good. 2 more. Last one. Brilliant. Okay, on to your front with your arms underneath your shoulders there, and I just want you to push up to stretch the back. 1, 2, good. 3, lovely, and 2 more. Toes are cramping. In fact, it can't because I'm not drinking enough water, eh? Stop there. Good, turn your toes under and sit back on your heels, stretching your arms forward. Good, coming up onto your hands and knees, lift and drop, lift and drop. Last one. Tucking your toes under, stretch your bottom up, push down into those heels. Again, breathe into this one. Breathe in, breathe out, and sink back to the heels, broaden the chest. And again, breathe in, breathe out, and broaden out through the chest. Bend and straighten each knee, pushing one heel down to the floor. Gosh, you should feel a stretch down through each of the backs of the legs there. That calf work that we did at the beginning. Good. Walk those hands towards your feet. I'm always tempted to walk the feet towards the hands as well. I'm hoping that you're that little bit lower down with your hands on the floor there. Just let your arms go heavy, your head go heavy. Bend and straighten each knee again. Good. And curl your way back up. And just think again about that posture just before we go. Feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards. Knees soft. Tuck your bottom under a little bit. Activate through here. Now we've done loads of work there. Ribs down, chest open. Chin tucked, lengthen up through the back of the neck. And just a couple of breaths. In through your nose. And out through your mouth.